So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today for our CoolCare Masterclass. This one looking at saving time and saving money with CoolCare, hopefully doing a little bit of both. As I'm sure you're all aware, CoolCare is here to make operating your care home easier, more efficient, and more profitable. I'm there today focusing on the efficient and profitable side of things in terms of saving time, saving money. That's exactly what we hope to do. We'll be looking at in as well. Using Zoom on this session, if you do have any questions as we're going through, feel free to just use our Q&A option. You should be able to find it on your Zoom window, and you can pop a question in there, and a member of our team will be on hand to answer anything you've got, or I might answer it as we go through as well. And as well as that, once we've gone through the masterclass for today, if you do want to ask any further questions, you can stick around at the end. We'll leave the room open for a little while. So if you do have any questions, feel free to stick around and we can answer them at the end as well. But anything you think of as we're going through, feel free to just ask through that. Now, as mentioned, what we'll look at today is looking at how CoolCare can save you time with your processes on the system and saving money, essentially, as if we've all heard, time is money. And so hopefully by saving one, we can save the other. We'll be looking at automating your timesheet checks, looking at things like shift snapping, rate deductions, how they can make things easier for you through that. Looking at our rota, increasing the efficiency on there with stuff like different interactions through your staff and from your calendar in there. How CoolCare can remove duplication of work through our enquiries and recruitment sections, as well as how you can customize your CoolCare dashboard to see what's important to you as soon as you log into the system to see exactly what you need to and get around easily from there. So different little ways that CoolCare can save you time and in the long term save money from. As I'm sure you might be aware, small savings of admin can make a big difference to your operational day-to-day. So I'm going to swap over to my demo system and we'll get things underway. Right, I swap over onto here. We should see CoolCare on my screen. So before we begin, just a little bit of context. Essentially, from our recent CoolCare customer survey, we found that the main thing people liked about CoolCare and would recommend it to others about is all about the strength of the system across the key operational areas, how it makes things more efficient, satisfaction with core functionality, system reliability on there. Plenty of people have told us how CoolCare is making things easier for them, making these processes quicker for them, which in the long term does save them money on there. So we're going to highlight some different ways we can go about that. The first one I'm going to look at is our timesheets. So, as I'm sure you're aware, CoolCare's timesheets under your staff section gathers all your staff hours together, all brought together from your staff clocking in and out with their clocking hardware. They will then put their hours onto here, and the main thing that can help you save time on here is to do with how it can snap them to shift. Essentially, you can set up CoolCare to recognize what shifts your staff should be doing from there, and it will then basically put them to the hours for that shift that they would have. As long as they clock in and out around those times, it can recognize, oh, this is the shift they should be doing. This is the number of hours they should get. This is any breaks we should take off. It's all from there and just leave you with the hours that they should get paid for, saving you having to come in and do those checks and having to do those adjustments yourselves. CoolCare can do it all for you. Just by checking a shift on here, if I have a look, we can see all the information we need to know. So you can see what the regular shift a staff member would do from the rota shift they're assigned to. There you can see 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. We can see when they actually clocked in and out there just before their shift began, just after it ended, 10 past 7. And it tells me there they were present for 12 hours, 17 minutes. If nothing was set up for the shift snapping or the actual break deductions, they would just have 12 hours, 17 minutes as their actual hours on here, and that would need adjusting to what they should actually get paid for. But because of the shift snapping, because of the break deductions, CoolCare is able to recognize that shift as the 7x7 shift they have set up, as well as know that because they're doing a 12-hour shift, they should have 1 hour break deducted, leaving them with 11 standard hours at the top. So as long as the staff member clocks in all right and clocks out okay, then CoolCare can recognize their shift and go, oh, well, this is the hours they should be doing. This is what they get paid for. That was what we'll put it to. And that all works with some settings that you can find in our home setup section. So we go to Care Home, and it's a home setup. Essentially, there's two things CoolCare is looking for to see what shift they should be doing and what leeway they should have. The first bit in there is in your staff positions under this home setup, where you'll find in your list of positions, if you click into any one of them, the shift definitions. So as I mentioned, these are the shifts that you expect your staff to do based on their role. So for a care assistant here, I've got their long day shift, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., broken down into a morning and afternoon as well. And so CoolCare will be looking at these shifts and comparing them against the staff clocks to see if they've done the correct shift that we expect them to do. And you can create these in here just by clicking insert and filling out the details of the shift itself, whatever we want to call it, the start and end time as well, and kind of what period part of the day that comes under, as well as the option to say if that shift should have a break deducted. As you can see, next to our shift definitions, there is a separate tab here for break deductions. And you can see actually next to the staff positions at the top, there's break deductions there as well. Depending on how you want to set things up, you can do break deductions a couple ways. You can do it on each staff position. So if different roles may have different breaks, you can set up their own deductions in here. If they've been the same across your entire home, you can do it just as a flat rule in the break deduction section here instead. But the general idea in both sections is it works a similar way to say, after working so many hours, it will deduct so much time from them, and they will be stacking on top of each other. So for example, in here, I've got that after a staff member works 4 hours in my home, it will deduct a 15-minute break from them. After working 6 hours total, it will deduct a further 15 minutes, which will actually be half an hour total because it's using both of them. And in the same vein, after working 12 hours total, it will deduct another 30 minutes on top of that for a 1 hour break total for a 12-hour shift in there. So if you are setting up break deductions, remember the after working is the total number of hours, but the deductions add on top of each other with that. So essentially, after working the top number of hours, it will deduct all 3 of them from there. So yes, it can recognize that, again, based on the shift. But as well as that, there are in your settings tab in here as well, where you can find the rota and timesheet configuration, a bunch of settings essentially saying how it wants to recognize if the shift is within time or not. Essentially that leeway, so they don't have to be clocking in dead on time. They could be a little bit before it begins, after the shift ends, and you can even set up tolerance if they're allowed to clock in a little late or clock out early as well if you want them to from that. And that's all these settings are doing on here. So the before shift starts, I've got that set to half an hour. So it means if someone's shift begins at 7 a.m., they can clock in, as soon as 6:30 in the morning and still be counted as only starting from that 7 a.m. start time. That way, if people are clocking in early, it means they're not going to be, paid additional for that. And, and same with the after shift ends there. The other side of that, I've got that set to half an hour on mine. So it means someone finishes at 7 p.m., they can clock out anytime up to 7:30 and still only get paid up to that 7 p.m. shift finish time, meaning you're not having to worry about messing around with shifts from there. And if someone does clock in late or clock out early, you can even set it up to deduct time. So again, they're not getting paid plus the time that they're not actually in the home. Like here, I've got a bit of leeway for someone if clocking in late. They could be 5 minutes. If someone's a couple minutes late, I'm not going to be too harsh on them on mine here. But if someone were to clock in over that 5 minutes late, you can then dock time from them, in this case, using the exact clock time, meaning it'll pay them from the minute they clock in. If someone clocks in at 7:10, they're not going to get paid from 7 a.m. They're going to get paid from 10 past when they clocked in. And in the same vein there, the before shift ends, if someone's clocking out early, in my case, I've got it set to 0 minutes. So if they clock out early at all, they're going to get paid up to the minute they clock out on there and not anything more. Again, you can set leeway for that if you want, or you can be essentially as strict or as lenient as you'd like on there. And through these settings here, it's able to capture all that information from the clocks, recognize the shift the staff should be doing, and pay them for just the hours they've done from there. It means you're not paying staff for 15 minutes of unworked time at either end of your shift every day across however many staff you have a year. It means you're saving a lot of money, hopefully, from not paying that little bits here and there each day. And that's, I say, it adds up to both saving time with not having to check that stuff and worry about it, and saving money with not paying staff for additional hours that they're not even working from there. So it all adds up from that. And I say that all comes together on your timesheets, where you should see a sea of blue shifts to say all these shifts are snapped as shifts, they've done the right hours we've expected them to do, and we're all good from there. And it does all add up. And doing this on here kind of saves time in the long term with payroll, saving money from there as well. Uh, Feedback we've had from customers you can find on our website. The difference CoolCare has made in terms of the payroll efficiencies is rather dramatic. One customer we've had has said payroll admin has gone from 23 hours a week, 3 working days, all the way down to just 4 hours a month on there in terms of their actual work on payroll and having to run it from there, meaning saving time in terms of just the actual staffing from that and giving them time to focus on other areas of the business and their roles. You're saving time with people not having to do these checks. You're saving money with the actual payroll itself. It all comes together from there. It's a really good piece of kit is the snapping to shift. If you can get it to work on there, it means that you're not having to do so many checks on here. It means that people are all getting paid for what they should be on there, and your confidence in what your staff are getting paid. So that is one of the ways CoolCare can save time and money from that. The other ways we can look at saving time is all about increasing efficiency in the system in different ways. One of the ways we've got that is through our rota. So your rota's in CoolCare, obviously handling all your staff assignments, who's working when, and it can show you here where we may have gaps in the rota that need filling in to help us find staff to cover shift. Now, usually, if you might have an unassigned shift here that you need to find cover for, you may have to go running around the home asking staff who can cover a shift. You might go around asking whoever's available from there, but you can do it within CoolCare itself. Literally clicking on a shift, you have the option to message staff directly from your shifts in CoolCare. As long as they have a mobile number on the staff record, you can text a staff member from CoolCare asking if they're able to cover a shift, and you can do this obviously in your own time, and they can respond to it in their own time as well, so you're not having to worry about chasing them around for it. All you have to do is click the button there, message staff for that staff member. I'm just doing it for one person, but you could send it to as many people as you want on the shift that's available, and they will receive a text message from CoolCare. Or at least they should. Bear with me 1 second. You have to excuse me. This is the part where I'd usually go on my phone and respond to that text message. Unfortunately, it's not come through right away, which is definitely not saving me time. Why don't we try a different shift? 1 moment. Try that one. There we are. Right. So the staff member receives a text message from your assistant asking if they're able to cover a shift, giving them all the details they would need to know, the position, the date and time, the home it's for as well. And then within that text message themselves, there's a little web page they can open where they can just respond to that yes or no, nice and easily. And say, unfortunately, I can't show you it's from the mobile, but it's just a nice page there saying red and green button, yes or no, can they cover that shift? If we say yes, they can, that will then feed back to my system. In fact, we can show it both ways if I respond to the other one as well. There we are. So once your staff member responds to your message, you can easily check if they have using the button at the top here, cover requests. It will tell you all the shifts you sent out messages for, so you can keep an eye on them from there and see if people have responded directly from that. And you can even go to the shift in question just by clicking the button next to it. It will highlight it for you in there. And if I click on that shift, we can see there the staff member said yes, they can cover that shift. Even tells me when they've responded to it as well. So if you're sending out this message to multiple people, you can see who's responded and when. If it might be first come, first serve, who's responded the earliest on there. And from there, you can choose who's covering that shift just by assigning them to it. And that will actually send them another text message back to let them know they've been assigned to that shift direct as soon as you assign them on there. All because of this setting at the top there, text staff when assigned to shift. So you can message the staff asking if they're able to cover the shift, and then once you've chosen who to do it, CoolCare will automatically message them again to let them know they've been put on that shift as well, saving you time having to contact staff and call around or whatever. You can easily just text them from there, and they can respond yes or no, and make a decision from that. Again, saving you time doing it from there. Another thing the rota can interact with is your calendar. For things like holidays, absences, if stuff that's going to take your staff off the rota, you can be aware of it and it can do it for you. So rather than me having to essentially authorize a holiday, take them off the rota, find cover, all that kind of thing in one go, it can do it for you from there. So for example, If I actually scroll across, the rota will highlight where we may have requests for holiday. You can see there these two yellow shifts. A staff member has a holiday requested. All I would need to do is go to my calendar and I can find the holiday in here. From there, we can then authorize that holiday to say that person is going to have those days off. That's fine. And if I save that, it will then ask you, do you want to take them off the rota? Well, if they're not working that day anymore, we don't want them on the rota anymore. Click yes to that. And we're updating multiple places all in one go. Not only does that update your rota now to say that person's no longer working on those shifts, which we can do easily enough and check on there. You can see now unassigned. Even tells it because of a holiday. It will also let the staff member know. It will send them a text to say these holidays have been authorized now. And it will also add the hours of holiday onto our timesheets. If I go to that week, you can see there the 2 days holiday booked in for that staff member. And it will also update the holiday entitlements on the staff record as well. So the calendar got loads of stuff for you like that. You just put something on here and it will update multiple parts of CoolCare, saving you having to update multiple places and saving duplication of work. It all just happens from the calendar as soon as you put it in there. And that is another way CoolCare helps out with that efficiency, is all about removing that duplication of work, not just through the calendar on here, but in different other sections of the system. For example, with our inquiries or our recruitment. So to show you that, if you go to the occupancy management section of CoolCare, you'll find in here your inquiries. And let's say with an inquiry, you can go through the full inquiry process with a potential new resident on there. But the best thing about it is with this inquiry, you can fill out all the information relating to your inquiry with your potential residents in there, just to show you all the details you can fill in for them, information relating to our prospective residents, funding information, potential care type, etc., all that, as well as a contact for them, and you can even add in multiple contacts and attach documents to the inquiry. And the best thing about it is, if you were to then do the admission for this inquiry, it will then take all the information from the inquiry and turn them into a resident. So if I were to put in an admission for this one, which I'm just going to say we're going to complete right now, say it's going to be done for today. And as you're completing the inquiries, actually, if I just save it first in there. With the admission, once you complete the admission for a resident, so if I were to say this person's admission be completed today, you'll get this button appear. It says save and admit, which is going to save our inquiries completed on this side, and it's going to take all of our inquiry details and turn them into a new resident record. You can see there the admission dates pulled automatically from where the new inquiry was completed. We can pop say what room they're going to be moving into. And if I go next, we can see on here automatically all the details are already filled out because they've just come across from the inquiry. The resident's name, date of birth, personal details on the right-hand side here, their permanency, funding, care type, all of that comes from the inquiry as well. And if I go next again, additional details it can fill out as well, where they're remitted from, their previous home address can come across from there as well. I didn't have one for this one, but that would come across in there as well. And if I save this, that new admission is now completed right away. And on top of that, if I go into the new resident, we'll be able to find, if I go to their contacts, the contact we had in the inquiry is now a contact on the residence, and the document we had attached to the inquiry is also attached to the residence as well. So rather than having to finish your inquiry and then, fill in all that data again as a new resident, CoolCare just transfers it from the inquiry to the resident record, all the stuff you would need straight away from there, again, saving in that duplication of work. But it's not just the inquiries that can do that, it's even your recruitment. So in a similar vein, recruitment is for potential new staff that you may want to bring into the home in there for whatever vacancies you have. You can create vacancies for whatever roles you've got. You can create the applicants to say what roles they will be applying to, bring them together on here. And as you go through the application process and say you want to hire this person, I save that quickly. You can then click the button there, hire, which, similar to the residents with the inquiry, this will create a new staff member. Again, with the basic details all filled out, the name, date of birth, personal information is already there. We can fill in the details of their role. You can see their address is actually in there as well that we filled in for them. all I need to do is pop in their position details. That's and the start date's going to be today. So the basic details are filled in. Anything else you can obviously fill in as you want to go as well. But if I save that, that is our new staff member added in, which we can find right there. And again, any documents you attach to the recruitment section through the applicants will be in their documents on here as well. In this case, a CV added on is on there as well. So yeah, it's all about removing that duplication of work with the inquiries, with the recruitment, with your calendar, rather than having to update multiple places when you're making changes to stuff. CoolCare can do all that for you. And there's little bits as well with other things it can do. It's such as changing a staff member's position, can take them off the rota for a position they're no longer working. It can update their holiday hours and all that kind of thing. There's plenty of little time saves CoolCare can have for you that add up over time, saving duplication of work and saving money and allowing you to do what you need to do better in your role. And last but not least, the last little bit of efficiency that can help saving you time on there is the first thing you see whenever you log into CoolCare, which is your dashboard. This page here could be customized to show you exactly what you want to see, what's important to you as soon as you access your system. So I've got mine set up to look at a few bits staff-wise, a couple of bits occupancy-wise on there, and a couple of ways to help me get around CoolCare. But if I want to see different things on there, that can be set up from my user. So for those that have access to manage users on the CoolCare system, you can update a user's dashboard to show what they want to see as soon as they log into the system. I just go into myself on here and into my dashboard widgets. Here you can see all the widgets we have available, and you can make those available to your staff for whatever they would need to see on there. It's plenty of stuff related to staff records, things like different bits on staff records that may be coming up to expire or need updating, things like DBS checks, nurse pins, inductions, probations, supervisions, appraisals, training for staff. Plenty of things you can see in there if I was to just enable some of these. And even stuff relating to the residence records like absences or residence birthdays, nice to see on there as well. For stuff to be done around the home as well, like your occupancy and inquiry process can be all highlighted in that as well. So you can enable whatever your user wants to see for them, and that then appears on the dashboard. And you can see all these different widgets looking at different parts of the system, things that need to be brought to my attention, things I want to focus on, and you can get around the system from these widgets as well, just by clicking on something. So if I want to check the DBS and PIN expiries for staff, I can click on one of them, and it'll take me straight to their record, and I know what I want to update. In this case, with my new nurse, I can add in their PIN details, all in there, whatever we would need. Easy as that. And once that's saved and up to date, it will then remove them from the widgets. We don't have to worry about them. In this case, they're actually still there because I've got the DBS details as well. But if I were to add that in, I'll put the DBS information on there and save it. There we are. That red one's now gone from there. So the dashboard can show you exactly what's going on, what we need to deal with, and from there you can action what you want on CoolCare and it will update automatically. Easy way to get around. And you can either reorder your own dashboard with the widget order option on there to move around what you want to see right at the top, front and center whenever you log into CoolCare. Saving you time having to look around the records and check for stuff, you can see it all from your dashboard as soon as you log in. It's easy as that. And with that, that is everything we had to show you for today. That is our ways that CoolCare helps to make things easier, more efficient, and saving you time means saving you money. Now, just before we wrap up for today, a couple additional things to mention. Firstly, if you are interested in any additional training on CoolCare, if you want to know more about the system or want to focus on certain parts, feel free to email us at training@coolcare.co.uk, or you can phone our team or we can check our availability. But you should have some free of charge sessions, 30-minute sessions that you can do as part of your CoolCare subscription. If you need any additional help on the CoolCare, of course, you can always get in touch with our support team as well. On there, you can give them a call, you can email them, or you can use a live chat available within CoolCare itself on there. Or for any other queries regarding your account and subscriptions to CoolCare, you can email our customer success team. What I also have to say is thank you all for joining. Do have a nice day. If you want to ask any questions, feel free to stick around and we can answer in the Q&A section. But otherwise, thank you for coming.